Namaskar, I am Rajdeep Pandit and I special thanks to Vikram ji that conduct a session for understand the Parashar Light software easy and quick way to get maximum benefit to how to read the chart and other qualities from Parashar Light software. Because as we know, we all are astrologers and take benefit from this particular software because it is, you can say, very unique software in the astrology world basically.
And for those of you who have been in my sessions before, um, the focus is on customizing this for our program, right? And for everybody else who has joined for the first time, my name is Vikram. I'm part of All Things Vedic and deeply impressed by the work that Dr. Rajdeep sir has been doing in making this software available for the public. Also deeply impressed by his YouTube channel. Please check it out. And the fabulous webinars that he conducts, interviews of different personalities. And a big thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to show how this software works to your community. Yeah. We are a large group, so I will ask that we are very conscious of the questions that we ask, that we are very conscious of what we type. It is going to be a full-on session, and one session may not be enough. So let's be conscious of everybody's time over here. Can we do a small grounding before we begin? It is sacred work, right? So if I can ask us all to put our phones on silent mode, please. This is our first session on customizing Parashara's light. I have a small deck. Let me take you through this. I ask for your full attention. Leave aside your software. Just look at the deck. It's just a few slides and it will set the tone for the working session. Yeah. Now, this will be the screen that opens when you start your software. And this is how the software may be looking for you before customization. Now, there are different platforms. This is a Windows platform that I've taken this screenshot. Right? Now, this one here is what we call as the menu bar right on top. Over here, we have what we call as the chart selector. Yeah. The name of the chart over here, this is the D9 Navamsha chart. And then these are the grahas, the planets, right? And in this case, it's giving you the degree, 26th degree, and the nakshatra, Purva Falguni. Right? But what we need to notice in the screen is the layout, right? I'm going to draw a grid over here, and you'll notice that this is how this particular screen has been designed. Yeah? This is the grid. And each part of the grid is called a cell. So that is a cell, top left-hand corner. This is a cell. This is a cell. All of these are cells. Yeah. Now, the software is such that you can double-click and right-click in different places. Yeah. When you double-click a cell, any cell, you get the chart and table selection dialog box. Yeah. Here, there are different tables. You can set the context. You can choose which chart you want. And you can choose the vargas or the divisional charts. So basically, you need to choose one from each column. Column is the vertical. So you can say, for instance, in tables, you can choose chart. Simple. Under context, you choose birth, the birth chart. Special charts, you take the sign chart, not house chart. As an example, Vargas, choose Janma birth chart D1, right? You need to choose one from each. But interestingly, this particular software also gives you partner. So when you're doing compatibility, for instance, you can select partner here and you get compatibility of 2 charts. Yeah, that's a tick mark. Yeah. Also, you can select the cell size. You can make the grid. How many cells do you want a particular chart to occupy? You select over here. So in this case, for instance, it says 3x1. That means it will take 3 cells horizontally and 1 cell vertically, whatever you have selected on the top. Yeah, we will do all this as a working session. Just get an overview at this stage, right? And after that, you click on OK. This is the chart and table selection dialog. Now, when you click on the chart selector dialog, which is on the top right-hand corner, you will get the worksheet dialog box. Over here, you can give the name for a particular screen. You can call it whatever you want, right? I have called it birth chart 1. You can have many screens under one worksheet. Each screen will be different. So over here, for instance, I've got Varga chart, I've got sunrise chart, I've got Navamsha ages chart, Sudarshan Chakra chart. Right? You can also select a certain chart as your favorite, in which case you can easily access that chart, that screen. But also what we'll be doing in this session is to add a new blank screen and start customizing it from ground up. Yeah, we'll use this option very shortly, add screen. And when you add it, you'll get blank. You see that word blank over here under the worksheet, it creates a blank screen. Okay? So this is the worksheet dialog box. You can right click a graha. And when you right click a graha, it gives you different options. Yeah? You can rotate the chart to a particular planet, especially if you're using North Indian chart, and you want Mars as your Lagna, you can rotate the chart to Mars. You can get significations of that planet. You can get a calculation summary of that planet, Shadbala, for instance, right? Right-clicking the planet opens this dialog box. You can also right-click a chart itself. Yeah. So when you right-click a chart, you get this dialog box. You can change the format of the chart to North Indian, to South Indian, to circular, the tropical astrology format, or the Bengali Oriya style. You can change it, right? I primarily use the South Indian format, change it to North Indian. You can also right-click a dasha. So if I look at the Vimshottari dashas and I right-click, say, Sun and Mars, I get options over there. Yeah, I can update my transit Gochar chart to that date and time. I can read about the effects, different options. Basically, what I'm trying to share is there are numerous ways in which you can customize, and you can design your workflow depending on how you use, what techniques you use in astrology. Yeah. Even more important, right at the top in the menu bar, you have an options menu. You use that to optimize, to customize the look and feel of your software. Yeah? You have all these different options over there. Yeah? The fonts, the color coding, but importantly, the calculations. For instance, if you want to change the Ayanamsha, you want to use KP Ayanamsha, you want to use BB Raman Ayanamsha, all that comes under calculation, right? Default is Lahiri Ayanamsha. The software is so capable that I have seen many learners struggle in optimizing the software because they get lost with the number of options that's available. So as you explore the software, what I want you to be alert to is whether you're customizing the software based on your technique or whether you customize your technique based on what software provides. They are two very different approaches. My recommendation is don't get lost in how much the software provides. Decide beforehand what you need for your interpretation and use just that. Very easy to get lost in Parashara's light. For instance, I showed you how the software looks like for you. Yeah. This is how I have customized my software. This is how my screen looks like. Very different from the default, because this is what I use in my interpretations. I have a large birth chart, I have a small divisional chart, and I also have the Gochar. You don't have to copy this, but use the software based on what you need. Here's another screen. I have all the divisional charts on one screen. So when I'm doing a Varga analysis, I see all the divisional charts. Maybe I need to have Vimshottari Dasha in this screen because that's very important when you analyze a divisional chart. But if you're not at the stage of learning where you use divisional charts, leave it aside. Just focus on what you need. Here's another screen I use for compatibility. I've got one birth chart on the left side, I've got the partner's chart in the center, and I've got the Ashtakut analysis at the bottom. Right? I don't use this when I'm analyzing the birth chart of one individual. I use the screen only for couples. Right? You can favorite your important screen, so then you have it handy. I will show you how you can do that. Here's another screen for Ashtaka Varga. Right? Very different from the default. So we will see how we can bring in all these different charts. Yeah. This is the default screen. This is Gemini. I don't use Gemini astrology, but for those of you who are practicing Gemini, you have immense capabilities with this software. Right now, I must share that neither Rajdeep sir nor me are in any way benefiting from Parashara's light by offering this value-added service, right? We have nothing to gain. So we are doing this completely out of goodwill, especially Rajdeep sir, out of goodwill for the astrology community. Yeah, we are not endorsing Parashara's light in any way. I will also be doing a session on Jagannatha Hora. Any software is okay as long as it serves your needs. Yeah. Now, this is what I had prepared. From now on, I want to take it into a working session. Are we okay to go there? Any very quick question, considering we're a large group? Please keep your questions very pointed, focused, and conscious of time. I'm happy to take one or two questions and then we can start working on it. Yes, Kishu, can you please unmute yourself and you can ask your question? So let's go into any questions. Okay. So I'm going to open Parashara's light.
Just one quick question, if I may.
Yes, yes, yes.
I can install this in my if I have two or three laptops, I can install this on all two or three, right?
I think only 2 laptops is allowed.
Okay, there is a limitation here.
Yes, you'll have to speak with the company, Shalini.
Okay.
I think they allow 2 laptops, right? And it's only on laptop. Parashara's light is not available. I think it's not available for mobile and tablet, but I may be mistaken. Yeah.
I request to all my dear friends here, we are here only for the how to read the chart and how to maximum utilization of the software. Regarding installation, any technical support and any other things that is totally depends on the Parashar Light team. So my request to all
Correct.
people, just focus on the how to use maximum the software and optimization of the contents the software have. So please, my request,
Correct.
this type of question we can entertain separately, but not in this
Correct.
group.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Oh, I'm really sorry
Let's,
for that, bringing that question.
yeah, no problem. So now I'm sharing my screen and you see a blank blue screen, right? Now I'm going to hit Control N and I get a data entry dialog box, right? You can enter the name, the gender. If when we do compatibility, gender becomes important. Date, time as accurately as possible, place, and Rodden's rating generally says how accurate is the time of birth. It's a very standardized rating. If you can read through the options and you can select it. This is very helpful for research, right? So right now, I'm not going to enter any details. I just hit enter. I hit OK. It will give me a Prashna chart. Yeah. Now, what you are seeing here is how I have customized my screen. It will be very different from what you have. So for the purpose of this working session, what I suggest we do is click on the chart dialog box on the top right hand corner where it says whatever it says birth chart. You will get the worksheet dialog box. Click add screen and you will get a new screen. Let's just start blank. Yeah. Now I'm going to call this, I'll give it a name. I will call it webinar, right? Before you hit enter, take a moment to look at the different dimensions that you can use. The ideal dimension depends on how large your screen is and the resolution of your screen. You can start with 3 by 3. What it means is 3 cells horizontally, 3 cells vertically. I can make it 4 by 3, in which case I have 4 cells horizontally, 3 cells vertically. Then everything shrinks in size. If I go to 6 by 5, I have 6 cells horizontally, 5 cells vertically. Right? Depends on your preference. I'm going to take 3 by 3. I won't use any of these for now. And I will click OK. Now I have a blank screen. I will give you a minute to reach this. Okay. Everyone with me? Take your mouse to any cell. Let's stay with the top left-hand cell, blank cell, and you double click. And you will get the chart and table selection dialog box. Over
Sir,
here,
can
you
you
need to,
repeat the sir, can you repeat
yeah,
the steps? Sorry, I missed it. So just the first navigation which you told for opening the blank chart.
yeah. For opening a blank chart, you click on the chart selector top right-hand corner, and you'll get the worksheet property box. Over here, you click on add screen, and it will create a new screen. You can give it a name. I've given it the name webinar, and then I click OK. I've selected 3 by 3 over here in dimension. So I have 3 cells horizontally, 3 cells vertically. You can choose anything, right? And then you click OK. So you have a blank screen, right? We are doing it bottom up. Now you double click any cell and you get the chart and table selector dialog box. So over here, I'm selecting chart. I can select anything over here. Don't worry about all that for now. Let's just follow along with me. I'm doing chart. I want the birth chart. So I'll select birth in the second column. I select sign in the third column. And I select Janma in the fourth column. Just take the first option in all. That's the base from which you will start your interpretation. Yeah? So that I need first. Now, before you click OK, at the bottom where it says one by one, now you can choose how big you want your chart. So let us say I want it 2 by 2. That means 2 cells horizontally, 2 cells vertically. I will get a very big chart, right? I will just show you. See, I've got a very big chart which covers 2 cells horizontally, 2 cells vertically. Yeah. If you make a mistake, just double click and you get your chart dialog box again. Now, I don't want it that big. I will just leave it one by one. I don't use any tick mark. I'll make it small. Let's say I want the North Indian chart. I right click and choose North Indian. I've got the North Indian chart. I'm going to pause there. See if you can bring this one chart on your screen. Yeah, thank you. Give me a thumbs up the moment you have done. So then when quite a few of us give me a thumbs up, I can move on. Super. Okay. Let's keep with the North Indian. Oh, okay, let me go back to South Indian. Now, right click on any planet and just explore these different things. Okay. So let's say if I'm using the North Indian format, I can right click on Venus and say rotate chart to Venus. Venus becomes Lagna. Works only in the North Indian format. I can say Moon. I rotate the chart to Moon. Moon becomes Lagna. Yeah? Okay. Now, one thing I need when I'm analyzing the birth chart is the nakshatra, is the degree, the avastha. The details of the planet for me are very important. Yeah? Let's put that in. Yeah? I'm not going to mess around with that particular screen. What I will do is, let me go back to South Indian. I right click at the bottom below the chart. Not right click, I double click. I get the chart and table selector dialog box. Okay. Now, in the first one, instead of tables, I choose planetary information. Everything else I keep same. Birth, sign, janma. Yeah. And here I will make it 2 bar 1, 2x1. By default, it is saying 2 because there's that much of information. 2x1. I click on OK, and it will give me all the details of the planets, of the grahas. Yeah. Now, I don't know what all these columns are. I right click and choose Advanced Display Options. And I click on Show Column Titles. Yeah. So now I have the headers for each column. We can customize that. We'll go there slowly. I'm going to pause here. Give me a thumbs up if you're able to get this.
Vikram, would you mind repeating the steps to this thing again?
Yeah, let me do that at the bottom. So first step, you double click in an empty area, right? I double click. Now, instead of taking the charts, I click on planetary info because I want details of the planet. I click on planetary info and the context is the birth chart, not the transit chart, the birth chart, the sign chart, and I want the details in my D1, in my Janma Varga, right? And then I click on OK and I get all of that. Now the default is it does not give me the column headers. So I need to right click, advanced display options, and click on show column titles. And that will give me the column headers. Yeah. Now I don't need a duplication. I want to remove one of them. I can right click and you see this option of blank cell, and that will remove the cell. I want to pause there. How's everyone doing?
Vikram, sorry, I'm not able to get the header. Can you just...
Yeah. So to get the header, you take your mouse inside the table and you right click.
Yeah.
And then
Copy
click on
without title.
advanced display options. Advanced display options, the first option here is show column titles. Keep that tick marked and click OK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's put in another important chart over here. Whichever chart is most important for you, let's put that here, right? For some of you, it could be the transit chart. For some, it could be the divisional chart. You choose. So I want to put the divisional chart over here. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to choose chart, birth, sign, but then I choose a different divisional chart. The divisional chart that is most important when we interpret a horoscope is the Navamsha. I want that close to me. So I click on Navamsha and I click OK. I get the D9 over here. Yeah. Now, a little hygiene check at this stage, right? When I have multiple charts like this, and I'm in the middle of a consultation, I don't want to get confused which is the birth chart, which is the divisional chart. Yes, it is mentioned in the header, but it is too small. So what I do, when I go to the main chart, I right click, advanced display options. I get my advanced options over here. And I click on show birth details. Personal preference, because once I do this, I know that wherever there is all this text, I know that is my birth chart. I don't do that with the divisional charts. So I'm looking at the client and then I look at the screen. I know where my eyes should go to search for the divisional chart. Search for the birth chart, right? Okay. Give me a thumbs up if everybody is with me so far.
Vikram, how did you delete the third box that you created?
Yeah. So let me let's say I want to delete this one, right? Let's say I want to delete birth chart planetary details. I right click inside and I click on blank cell.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Now, the next important thing for me is the dasha. Right? We want to bring the dasha into this work screen. Right? Now I have multiple options. I can put the dasha over here. I can put the dasha in this cell. I can choose whichever cell I want. I can put the dasha, right? So let's say I put the dasha over here. I double click. And here I have the third option, which is dashas. And I want it for the birth chart, sign chart, Janma chart, D1. And let's say I choose this, not 2, not 2:1. I want 1:2. So 1 cell across and 2 cells down.
This one again, please, Vikram. Thank you. Missed
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So I want my dashas. You know, there's something called planetary periods. There are different kinds of dashas. That becomes important when we analyze the birth chart. So I double click an empty portion. And under tables, I choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th option here, which says dasha. Right? Birth, sign, janma. But over here, I want to see it 1x2. I want one cell, but I want it long. Personal preference, right? And then I click OK. Now look what I got. I got 1 cell by 2 cells down. Yeah. Now, I don't know what these different columns are. So you right click, no. Yeah. You come over here where it says whatever planet you have, you right click on the planet and you go to advanced display options. In advanced display options, here, I want my headers. You right click on the planet and then you say show header. Yeah, this will give me the column headers. This is very important for dashas because some software give you the beginning date of the dasha, some software give you the ending date of the dasha. Right? So make sure you know whether the date given is start or end, depending on which software you're using. Now, generally, how I interpret the chart, I'm not worried about the day of the week that the dasha starts. What is more important for me is the age, approximate age of the person, because how you interpret the dasha changes completely, right? Depending on the age. So I want the age over here. I right click the planet. I go to advanced display options and I click on age. Yeah. And it gives me the age. Right? Now over here, it says 1, which means it's the first year of birth. Not that 1 year has been completed, but the client is in the first year of birth. I can click on the minus sign over here to go up to Mahadasha level. And then you have the age at which the different dashas operate. Yeah. I'm going to pause there. wait for you to catch up. And in the meantime, let me know if you have any questions or give me a thumbs up if you are done.
Would you be willing to show that age again, Vikram? I couldn't.
Yeah.
catch.
So you right click on a planet and then you
Okay.
get advanced display options.
Yes.
And
Got
then
it.
click on age.
Okay, got it.
Anil?
When I did the minus and I got one planet, what was the second planet and the third planet there?
Those are the sub-dashas. We are not going into interpretation. This is the sub-dasha. This is the sub-sub-dasha. There are 5 levels of dashas, right?
Got it.
You can go to sub-levels by clicking on the plus, and it goes up to a maximum of 5 levels in all dashas, right? And then you can even use your mouse to go down and up. You know, the scroll bar, you can go down and up, right? Or you can use these arrows to go down or up, right, in time. Now, not all of us use Vimshottari, right? Especially if you're using Jaimini, you want to use Chara Dasha. If you're doing Tajik, you want to use Mudda Dasha. So you right click on Vimshottari, not right click, yes. When you click on Vimshottari, you get the Dasha selection dialog box. Yeah. So here I can choose which Dasha system I want. Let's say I want Chara Dasha. And then by default, it tells you what the Dasha should be based on. Be very conscious if you're going to change this. You need to know what you're doing. Say, for instance, if I use Vimshottari, it will automatically default to the moon. Leave it as it is if you're just starting studying astrology. I'm going to choose Chara. It is Lagna Dasha, and I want it for 2 levels based on Janma. Right now, the software gives you the option to do dashas based on Varga charts. If you're a beginner, leave it at Janma. Yeah. And then I click OK, and Vimshottari change to Chara. Yeah. Now, everybody with me so far?
Vikram,
Yeah.
is it okay to also do just in another column, say the Vimshottari, and then so you have the Chara?
Exactly.
And you can.
That's
Okay.
exactly where I was going to. Thank you
Oh,
for asking.
sorry.
Let's do that. Shruti, question?
I think it was similar. So do you keep changing from
Yeah.
Vimshottari to Chara, or do you create a
Right.
different worksheet?
Right. So personal preference, I use both when I interpret depending on the question. So I need both the dashas easily available to me, right? So what we are going to do is double click over here. I get the chart selection dialog box. I don't do 1 bar 2. I'll keep it as 1x1. I'll compress. To save real estate, I compress the size and I just choose one cell. Yeah. Now, I've got Charadasha there. I can put Vimshottari at the bottom. I double click the empty cell, or you do it. Put Vimshottari in that cell.
Vikram, can you
Yeah.
again say where did you click to get back that chart to resize the cell?
Yeah. So you double click. So see, it's like this, right? It's occupying 2 cells vertically. So you double click anywhere inside the cell, you get the chart and table selection dialog box.
Okay.
And over here, we had selected 1x2. I removed that tick mark and it defaults to 1x1.
Okay. Got it.
Right? So now I have a smaller one here. Now I want Vimshottari Dasha here. I double click. I choose Dashas, birth, sign, Janma, and I keep it as 1 bar 1. If I click, I get Vimshottari. Now I need my column headers.
Vikram, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Now, because we started with the Chara Dasha, and if I have to, now I have the Vimshottari first and doing the Chara Dasha next. How do I create that? I'm not sure if it's showing that option when you double click.
One sec, hold on. So let's say I want to swap this. That's what you're asking for.
So for example, I already have the Vimshottari Dasha at the on top. Now the next cell I want to create Chara Dasha.
Chara Dasha, right. So let's say I want this to become Vimshottari. Click on Chara. I get the chart selector. And here I choose whichever one I want. Now I've got Vimshottari.
But basically we only start with Vimshottari. That's the option that we get irrespective.
The default is Vimshottari.
Yeah, okay. That's what I want.
Right. Yeah. So I've got Vimshottari on top now and Chara. Personal preference, right? But I want my column headers here. So I do advanced display options, age and header. Yeah. And I get that. Let me pause there, Anil.
So for instance, I have the Chara on top and Vimshottari. Is there a click and move kind of a functionality where I can just change?
It's there. So let's do that. Good point to bring that up. So let's say now I've got Vimshottari and Chara Dasha on the right side of the screen. Let's say I want to take it to the bottom over here. There's whole place over here, right? What I do, I right click and I have select. Now be careful. It's showing me the grid and it's showing me the red border around the cell that I have selected. Now you see the mouse has turned into a hand. I left click, I hold it, and I move it wherever I want. Yeah, but now you see the red line has come outside the cell. I don't like that. Yeah, so I take my mouse over here where it changes into the double pointed arrow. I click and I drag inside. I can take it wherever I want, right? But this is going to be too narrow, so I keep it for the whole thing, especially when I go into Pratyantar Dasha, right? I click outside and I still have all the dotted lines. I want to remove all of that. So for that, I just have to toggle the screen. I go to some other screen and come back to this screen. Before I do that, is everybody able to move the chart from one cell to the other? Okay.
Vikram,
Arpita? Yeah.
Please repeat this sequence, sir. Please repeat this command.
Yes, I will. Let me just take a question and then I'll repeat the sequence. Arpita?
No, I did by mistake.
Okay. Kanika, question?
yes, I'm in fact just want to clarify that I'm getting several planets in the Vimshottari chart, and like I see only 2 here, but
so click
in
on the
your
minus
chart,
sign.
I see many.
Click on the
Sorry?
minus sign. Click on the minus sign.
Okay, got it. Okay, right.
Okay. Now let's move the chart again. What you do is inside the cell, you right click and you click on select. That cell will get a red border. You click you hold, you drag, and you place it where you want it. And then you adjust the size based on your preference. Now, I still have the dotted lines over here. I want to remove it. Yeah. The easiest way to do that is to just go to some other screen and come back to the screen. Yeah. So you see the top chart selector where it says webinar. I click on that. I just go to some other screen and then I come back to webinar and the dotted lines have gone. I want to pause there.
Can you, Vikram, can you repeat this?
Yes, yes. So let's say, for instance, I have selected something, I've moved it around, I've played it around, and I have the grids. You see the grid that is showing up over here? I want to remove that grid. Yeah. So the way to do that is to go to another screen and come back to the screen. Yeah. So I click on webinar. I mean, it may be called something else in your thing, but whatever the chart is called, click on that. And the worksheet dialog opens up. Just click on something else, any other thing, and you come back to webinar. And you'll notice that the grid lines have disappeared. Now, while I take a question, think about what you want on the right side, right? And see if you can fill it up based on your system of chart interpretation. Yeah? Anil, question?
More than question, it was an insight. When I right-clicked and said click to grid, it served both purposes. The rest of the grid disappeared,
yeah.
grid came.
Super, super. Yeah. Okay. What would you like to put on the right side?
Can you do a transit?
Exactly. That's where I was going to. Transit chart for me is very important. Right? So now if I look at the layout of my screen, I see that I've got two charts on the top. So let me continue and put the transit chart on the top cell. I double click, or you do it. Put the transit chart next to the Navamsha chart. And give me a thumbs up when you have managed that. Arpita?
Which transit should we choose, Vikram? There is only transit and transit ascendant and transit moon.
Yeah, choose animated transit.
Okay. And the rest of these are the same, right? Chart, sign, and Janma are all the same.
Yeah, keep that all same. So let me double click here. Here I choose chart, and here I'm going to choose animated transit. Yeah? I have sign and Janma. And I will keep this as 1x1 and I click OK. Now I've got the transit chart. But it's the animated transit, so I can change the date, right? So what is important here is that you put the birth details, because I can see that what date this transit chart is for. Yeah? It so happens that Prashna chart, I made the chart of today. But now look, if you take your mouse inside the cell, you can go back and forth using your scroll, using your mouse scroll, right? I can go forward or backward, and that is the power of animated transit. Yeah. So now I'm in 29/4/26. You know,
How
I
you
can
do this?
quickly see. Come again?
Vikram, can you just show it again? Because when I'm doing the same in the North Indian, it is not happening.
Okay,
Can you
so
just repeat it?
let me change this to North Indian. See, the problem with North Indian for me is I don't know where to put the birth details.
Okay.
Right? But now, even in the North Indian, I can move up and down. I'm using the mouse scroll, right? So in my mouse, I have this scroll, the wheel, right? Scroll wheel.
Okay,
So
okay, got it.
I'm using that to go forward in time and backward in time.
Understood.
Yeah. But I'm going
Yeah.
to stay with South Indian because then I can see which date I'm at.
Absolutely, absolutely. One more question, Vikram. Maybe it is what we are doing right now. It is not related to that, but suppose as per the Mahadasha or Dasha, if we want to rotate our birth chart, how we can do that? Is it
Exactly.
also
That's why we
possible?
said animated transit. Now, see, let's say I want to see Mars, right? Mars is the next major Mahadasha, right? So what I do now, I right click on Mars and I click update animated transits. You right click on the Mahadasha or even Antardasha, does not matter. Update animated transits. So the date automatically updates to the date when this dasha starts, 6/7/2027.
Okay. And can we do this in the birth chart also? So if you want to see the chart as per the Dasha, Lord, for the birth chart also we can do the same thing?
Sorry, birth chart, you're not going to change it based on Dashanatha, right? You may rotate it to that Dashanatha. So say, for instance, Mars. Yeah, rotation is possible, but rotation works only in North Indian. So let's switch to North Indian, right?
Okay.
Now let's say Mars Dasha is going to begin. I want to rotate the chart to Mars. So I right click on Mars and say rotate chart to Mars.
Understood.
So Mars
Thank you,
becomes
sir.
Lagna.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Arpita and then Shruti.
I clicked on something and it has changed everything and got expanded into like Vimshotri, Dasha effect, expansion. How do I go back to the original?
Just remove the cell and reinsert it.
Okay.
Okay. Shruti?
Vikram, when I did the Gochara, now I've created this for my birth chart. In Gochara, when I do the birth details, it's giving me Jaipur as the location. Now, can I change that?
Yes, yes, good point. So, if you go to options, no, here, file edit. Now I'm using a Mac, so you need to see what it is in Windows, but under edit for me, there is something called astrologer's location. Right? This I have set it to Pondicherry because I'm in Pondicherry, but you set it to your location, right? The transit over here, the default is to the astrologer's location, right? Now that's a very important point when we start doing prashna. The place is taken where the astrologer is located. Now there's a whole school of thought about where the client is located needs to be taken as the place. So then you have to change this to place of birth of the client. But basically the transit chart, the default is astrologer's location.
So you used which was it
Edit.
the options? Okay, edit.
Edit and astrologer's location.
Vikram?
Yeah.
In my Gochara transit chart, under today, it's showing March 17th. Why not?
Yeah, because you've gone back and forth. Now let's see how we can come back to real time, right?
Yeah.
Now let's say I've gone to 31st July 2027, right? I want to come back to real time. What I do is I go to tools change time tool. And over here, make sure that it is transit. This is very important. Don't change the birth chart. We don't want to change the birth chart time. We want to change the animated transit. So even when it says animated transit, again, I go and select animated transit. And then click on real time.
Okay, change it. Thank you.
Vikram, once again, please.
Yeah. So let's say, for instance, the Gochara chart, right? Let's say I've gone forward, right? So let's say I'm in 27th May 2026, right? I want to come back to real time. I want the transit chart of the moment again. Right? So the way to do that is to go to, is there an option here? No. So I go to Tools, Change Time Tool. Double click on this, make sure that you're changing the animated transit. This is a hygiene check. You don't want to change the birth details. And click on real time. It comes back to 12/4/2026. Okay. I'm conscious of time. Yeah. Now, we've just started exploring this, and I would like to get a sense of whether this was helpful, whether you want to have another session where we continue this, or whether you're okay in customizing it from now on. So let's take a poll, right? Do you all want another session? Can you raise your hands in Teams if you want another session? Okay, fine. Let's take another session, same time next Sunday, right? You will have to re-register. So those who don't want another session, I will take them out of the mailing list. If you would like to attend another session, please re-register. I will send you the link, but take a screenshot of this, right? And see if you can duplicate this screen between now and next session. Yeah. And then we will go further. We will further customize look and feel. We will customize Ayanamsha. We will customize the details of the planet that are shown, right? We can look at Ashtakavarga depending on what the group wants. Yeah.
Vikram, one quick question. I was trying to put the Shadbala graph and the Bhavbala graph also there, but by default that the Shadbala graph which is coming look like that some of the screen portion is out of actually the screen chart.
Right. So how do you customize that? Can we take this next session? Yeah. Play with it. You will be able to figure it out, but we can take this up in the next session. Yeah.
Sure.
So we are going to post this recording on YouTube. I will be sharing this recording with Rajdeep sir. So follow us on YouTube, and please register for the next session if you're interested. If you have taken a screenshot, I will stop screen sharing. Has everyone taken a screenshot of this? Yeah.
Thank you, Vikram. It will be very beneficial and useful session it was. मैं एक बात और ऐड करना चाहता हूँ. हमारे साथ कुछ लोग नॉर्थ इंडियन हैं, हिंदी वाले लोग हैं, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. आप अपना कोई भी, अगर आपका कोई डाउट है तो आप अपना सवाल हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हैं. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. विक्रम उनको एंटरटेन करेंगे वो. बाकी हम इसको कर सकते हैं क्योंकि कुछ लोगों का इनपुट मिला है कि थोड़ा सा हिंदी में भी बोलें, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. आपका जो भी डाउट है, जो भी आपका सजेशन है, जो भी आप पूछना चाहते हैं, प्लीज आप हिंदी इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज यूज कर सकते हैं.
Thank you, sir. I completely forgot about that. So now can I ask you to ask questions in Hindi? Only those who want to ask questions in Hindi can ask questions now.
Yes. So thank you so much. थैंक यू सो मच. और ये सेशन आपको मिल जाएगा यूट्यूब पर, और बाकी हम नेक्स्ट संडे भी मिलेंगे. सो इट विल बी गुड. और अगर कोई टाइम में चेंज रहेगा तो हम बात कर लेंगे.
Thank you, Vikram. But I want to open the floor for questions in Hindi. right? If anybody has questions, please ask me now.
विक्रम
Otherwise,
जी नमस्कार।
yeah.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम अशोक है, मैं कनाडा में हूँ। मेरा टाइम डिफरेंस और आपका बहुत ज्यादा है। अभी रात के 2:15 पे सेशन शुरू हुआ था, तो कोई टाइम में कुछ और चेंजेस वगैरह अगर हो जाए तो थोड़ा अप्रिशिएट करें। That was the only submission. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Maybe we can do the next session in the evening. I don't know. I'll have to check my calendar, but point taken. This is also available as a recording on YouTube, so you can follow the session on YouTube. Yeah.
Appreciate, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Vikram sir, you please also share your YouTube link, sir.
Yes, I will send you the link by email. And even Rajdeep sir will be adding you to his group, and he will post a few videos there, so you will get the details.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Anything else? कोई और सवाल पूछना चाहते हैं? Please ask your question.
Like we have created the new windows, how do we delete them? Like if we don't need a certain window, when you go to the extreme right and you click on the webinar, you get to have an option to create a new window. So like I have one which named unused. How should I delete it?
Yeah, there is no option I have found to delete it.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. People have raised your hands. Is this for questions or that you want another session?
Yeah. Vikram, I had a question. I had the whole thing laid out, and when I went to change the astrologer's location, suddenly when I came back, I just seen lordships only, and I realized worksheet properties have changed, and I can't now locate anything. So is there a way to save what I did, and has everything that I did got lost?
So there is an option in the GeoVision folder called options, which will be saving it, but then it may be overwritten, right?
So right now, how do I even revert to what I had 5 minutes ago through the software? Is that I don't know, because I'm not able to navigate back.
There is no undo option in customization. No software will provide an undo option for customization. You'll have to recreate it.
Okay.
Okay, Nicole, you have a question? Okay, Jairaj, question? Okay, yeah.
Sir, actually, I did not join timely. Just now I joined only. Can I have another session, please? Can you just give me the time?
Yeah, so this session is recorded and we'll share it with you. And the next session, most probably same time next Sunday, will be a continuation. So in this week, make sure that you catch up.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Can time will be different, sir? In the evening or in the morning at 10 o'clock, is it possible? Because we are the student of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, we are attending the classes at this time. They have to.
I will check and I will let you know. I have to check my calendar. I will check. Yeah?
Different timing, sir. Either in the evening.
There's a lot of disturbance coming from your side.
Train doors 4A, emergency. Next station is Noida.
Arpita and then Dhyaneshwari. Arpita, no question. Okay, Dhyaneshwari.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for this amazing session, Vikrant. I wanted to know that how do we switch between languages?
I have only the English option. Can you check with Shalini? Or maybe Rajdeep sir knows how to change language. I've got only the English option. Right, so I don't know how to change language.
In option drop down, you can choose the language. In option drop down,
options, yes.
In some of language related drop down over there.
Okay, options.
Yeah, these are I think option
system. No, maybe we can take this offline, ma'am, or maybe you can contact Shalini. I don't have different languages. Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Okay.
It's
R.K.
in the
Pandey, sir.
file. The
It's in
change of
file?
language is in file.
Ah, yeah. Very good. Thank you, Nicole. Here you go, ma'am. File language. So it says
Correct.
English. You must have another option. Just click on that and see if that changes language.
Okay,
Thanks.
which person have already taken the different language, like English is the main language and the regional language that have already given to request Shalini ji and receive the software in different language, you can choose through file option. Thank you, Nicholas.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay. All right, R.K. Pandey ji, and then we will close the session.
नमस्कार विक्रम, आपका सेशन बहुत रहा। एक चीज मैं जानना चाहता कि जो एक्सरसाइज है ये सेल का और चार्ट प्रिपेयर करने का, तो हर एक पर्सन के बर्थ डिटेल के आधार पर हम कस्टमाइज कर सकते हैं उसके लिए। इट इज नॉट कॉमन टू ऑल।
Yeah.
पंडित विक्रम, मैं जस्ट आई क्वेश्चन आंसर।
Yeah,
पंडित
yeah.
जी, जो आपका सवाल है वो क्या है, वो कुंडली सेव कर सकते हैं आप। एक फोल्डर बनता है आपके सी ड्राइव में, वहां पर जितना कुंडली आप सेव करेंगे ना, आप उतना सेव करते जाइए उसको। आपको जब भी चाहिए होगा आप वहां से चूज कर सकते हैं।
जी।
Great question. So one thing we did not do is to save this chart, right? So you just click on Command S and you get the save as dialog box.
Correct.
You give it a name, right? And it will save in the GeoVision charts folder.
इसको दोबारा से अगर आप लेना चाहते हैं पांडे जी, तो फाइल जो सबसे पहला ड्रॉप डाउन है विक्रम, उसके अंदर ओपन में जाके आप इसको खोल सकते हैं। ओपन में आपके सामने ये आएगा, इसमें आप निकाल सकते हैं। यहाँ से जो चार्ट बने हुए हैं इसको चूज कर सकते हैं आपको जो चार्ट निकालना है।
तो कहने का मीनिंग ये है कि हर एक इंडिविजुअल के साथ हम अलग अलग ऑप्शन तैयार कर सकते हैं और उसको सेव कर सकते हैं उसके लिए, पर्टिकुलर आदमी के लिए।
Yes.
No, sir.
Yes. नहीं विक्रम, वी कैन सपोज पांडे जी का जो सवाल है वो सवाल है कि सपोज मैंने किसी का D9 चार्ट देखा और दूसरे में नहीं जरूरत है, लेकिन ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं होगा। जब आप इसको खोलेंगे तो जो आपने अपना फॉर्मेट सेव किया है ना उसमें खुलेगा।
करेक्ट।
हाँ, ठीक है।
Thank you for joining us again, everyone. It's great to be doing this session, and thank you to Rajdeep sir for giving me this opportunity. Let's start with questions. Shruti, you had a question from the last session.
Yeah, hi. So the transit chart that we created, I wanted to know how do we make it the animated transit? I tried that a couple of times, but I feel like it's still static.
Okay. So let me just show you that. Let me open Parashara's light. So you must be seeing my software. I'm just going to open a blank chart. Let me take a blank screen. So if I want to make a transit chart, I double click, chart, animated transits, sign, Janma. Yeah. And then just to make sure that I don't mistake this for the birth chart, I put the birth details so I know what date, and then I use the mouse scroll, and I go forward or backward in time. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to make this blank. Okay, let me try. So तो आपको questions है तो आप हिंदी में पूछ सकते हैं, कन्नड़ला ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ತೆಲುಗುಲ ಅಡಗచ్చు, but I will answer in English. Yeah. I understand these languages, but for this particular subject, मैं English में ही बात करूँगा, But if you have any questions, please ask from the last session before we take up new material. Okay, so then let's continue. You have the recording from last session. That was the starting to customize the software. And if you are just starting out on astrology, it is more than sufficient what we did last time. Today, we are going to take it up a notch. Yeah, this is for someone who practices regularly. Yeah, what I'm going to show you today is for the intermediate astrologer. Yeah, if you don't follow, if you don't need to use this, let it go. Yeah, like before, I have a deck. Let me present the deck and I will tell you what all we'll be working on today. So give me your full attention now, and then we can do the working session. Yeah. Okay. So this is how your opening screen would be looking like. And today, these are the different things that I would like to focus on based on questions and requests I got during the week. So first is how to save charts and how to access them. Yeah. I want to show you the worksheet menu. I want to show you some of the interesting worksheets that are already there. Some options for further customizing the software. A method to look at all the different yogas available in a particular chart. And I also want to show you the research functionality. When you have hundreds of charts, how do you process them? Yeah. Now, before anything, I want us to differentiate between customizing the software to suit your requirements or customizing your techniques to suit the software. Yeah. They are two very different things. Personally, I believe we should do the former. We should customize the software based on what we need. Yeah, because there is just too much in the software. Yeah, and some of the things that I'm going to show you today, even I have not mastered it. I know that it's there, so sometimes we will learn together as we do it. Yeah. So this is the chart. This is how my screen looks like. This is how I've set up my work screen. Yeah. Now, first thing that I'd like to show you all when we get into the working session is how to access charts. Right? There's a keyboard shortcut. I will give you that. And then this screen opens up and I can see all my different charts that I've saved. Right now, this is what Parashara's light gives. Even you will have this folder called Indian Celebrities. You see over here, Indian Celebrities Actors, and you will have all different actors. Right now, you can scroll down over here. You have a search button here. And when you click on that, this chart opens up and then you click on OK. Yeah. Now, when you click on an icon that you see on the top over here, you see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 icons on the top left-hand corner. This is the worksheet menu, right? What we did last time was to make our own worksheets. Yeah, that is what I would recommend you to do. But Parashara's light has given you many, many worksheets. Yeah. Now these are grouped. So for instance, the first icon there with the baby over there will give you all these different worksheets. Each of these are different worksheets. Yeah. So depending on your need, on your use case, you can choose any of this. The second one over here will give you all the progress charts, the Tajik charts, the Varshafal charts, the annual charts. In English, it's called annual charts. Yeah, you have annual return, monthly return, daily return, Tajik charts. Yeah. So we don't need to go around making all these screens unless you want to really customize it. The basics are already there. Then you have compatibility charts. Yeah, that's the third icon with the two hearts. Yeah, so here you can check compatibility between two people. These are the different charts that are already given. The next one here gives you transit charts and a few advanced calculations that we use to analyze transits like Ashtaka and Muhurta. Right? These come under that particular icon. All these worksheets, you can go and customize it further. Right? A template has already been given. You also have KP charts. Right? Krishnamurti Paddhati is also there. You also have specific charts for Jaimini astrology. So for those of us who are practicing KP or Jaimini, you can check out these screens. There are some interesting worksheets like the transit calendar. We will work on this today, right? How do you customize the transit calendar, right? To see which planets are transiting what. There's also yogas, right? So in the tools menu on the top, you can click on yogas. I'm using a Mac. Maybe it's slightly different in Windows, but tools yogas will open up all the different yogas that are applicable for that particular chart. And at the bottom over here, it also tells you a brief interpretation of that yoga. Now, the other thing that I'd like to look at today is the options menu. Many different options. It's also called user preferences, where you can customize the look and feel. You can customize certain calculations like Ayanamsha. We can work on that today. Yeah. Shall we start the working session? Yeah. Any particular thing that you want me to include in today's session? Okay, in that case, let's.
Can we include Ashtak Varga?
Yeah, I'll show you Ashtaka Varga. Yeah.
With Prastarak Varga and everything.
Yeah. All of that will be there. Yeah. So we are not doing interpretation though. Yeah, I will show you some of the Ashtaka Varga charts. Now, the first thing, right? Let me close this and let me open it again. Yeah, because I want to show you how it looks like. Okay, so when the software opens up, if you in a Mac, I click on Command M. Just check what that software, the keyboard shortcut should be. You get the file manager, maybe it's Control M. Yeah, you get the file manager. And this is where I can choose which chart I want to open. Yeah, is it Control M in Windows? Yeah, try Control M. Now let me open, whose shall I open? Nargis's chart. Okay, I click OK here. Okay, and I've opened. So that's how you navigate, right? All right. Now, at any time, you can click on Control M or Command M, and you'll get the file manager again. Yeah. Okay. Now, the worksheet menu, right? So if you go to, I'll have to enable it because I have disabled it. So these are the icons. You should be seeing these at the very top, right? This is the worksheet menu. So let's click on, let's say, I take the Varga chart. It will be called something different for you because I've customized the names, but this will give me all the different divisional charts. Right? Go through all of those charts, see what each of them are. One of the questions was Ashtaka Varga. Ashtaka Varga will be under transits, right? So over here you have advanced calculations, Ashtaka Varga, Samudaya, Vinashtaka Varga, Prastara Ashtaka Varga, right? This is what you wanted, Prastara Ashtaka Varga. That will be under the transits worksheet. If you want the overall Samudaya Ashtaka Varga, you get this over here. But I can also have this in any screen, right? So say for instance, let me go to blank, right? So I double click, I get my birth chart and I put the birth details, right? Now, I want the Samudaya Ashtaka Varga next to this birth chart. So I double click, I come to the bottom and yeah. So you have Ashtaka Varga section under tables. So over here, choose the Ashtaka Varga, Samudaya Ashtaka Varga graph or the table. And I have the table over here. Yeah. So at this stage of learning the software, you need to explore all the different screens and see what it's capable of. Yeah. Another interesting chart, let's see, if I double click, one thing that I use a lot is planetary information. We actually added this to our screen last time. Extremely useful, right? This one. Yeah. Now this, I go to advanced display options, right click advanced display. We did this last time. I show column titles and I get the titles, right? But there are many columns that you can add. Yeah. So let's say, for instance, I want the declination, advanced display options, and you get all the different columns over here. All these are different things you can add. All this is for planets, analyzing the planet. So declination is 2. Yeah. Before you click, you see at the bottom it says 1 degrees and 3 retrogression combustion. That means 2 is not there. If I click on 2, it gets added to the list. If it gets added and I click OK, you get declination over here. Yeah. If I want to remove something, say for instance over here, Nama of each nakshatra, I don't use this in my interpretations. I don't want Nama, right? Because it's unnecessary noise for me. I right click, I go to advanced display options. Nama, I search for Nama over here, that is 11, nakshatra sound. I want to remove that. So I go here, I click on nakshatra sound and it gets removed from this list. Yeah. Now if I click OK, Nama is gone. The nakshatra sound is gone. Yeah. I'm going to pause there. See if you can do this much, if you can recreate the screen with Ashtaka Varga and the planetary details. And in the meantime, I'll take some questions if you have.
Can you show this again? I mean, if you take the first only birth chart and then the other chart, can you start with the birth chart? How to start only with the birth chart?
Yeah, okay, so let's do that again. So let me just remove everything, right? So right click and you have a blank screen, right?
I don't have blank screen. I just, okay. So suppose I opened my Kundli and it populates everything.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah. You can work with that, right? So maybe you've got something like this. You know, you've got a screen, right? This is what comes with the software when you purchase it, right? So some of these like this, you know, I don't use this, so I customize the screen. The way you customize it is you right click and you make it blank. Start from scratch. That's what I suggest. You can also work with what they have given. I recommend right clicking a cell, clicking on blank, deleting everything and starting fresh. Yeah. When you remove everything, this is what you have. You get a blank screen. Even if you don't have a blank screen. Supposing you have a chart there. Yeah. You double click that, you get this chart and table selection dialog box, and you change what you have over there. So I'll click on chart, birth, sign, Janma. I want the basic birth chart. I click OK, and I get the basic birth chart. I don't know if I'm answering your question. Please ask me if
I tried to do it. It is making blank.
Sorry,
Vikram
one
sir.
at a time.
Okay, Vikram sir, one question I received just through message. Once we I alter the sheet as per our requirement, some people saying automatically this sheet will be removed when close the system or close this software when it will be saved option.
It does save. So I don't know, that may be specific to that person. So let's say, for instance, now in Nargis's chart, right now I've made this blank screen, number 14, and let me add something else here, right? So let me add a Vashuffle chart. Let me add dominance. Let me add Bhavabala. So something like this. Let's say I've made this.
How does this chart option comes? Using right click if I'm on Windows?
Double click.
Okay, double click.
Double click and you'll get chart and table selection, right? So now let's say I save this. I should get this dialog box. This chart is already saved. Yeah. Let me move across screens. Let me see if it's there. This is there. This is the screen that I have made now, and it's there. Let me go different places. Let me come back over here, blank screen. Okay, this is there. Okay. Now, let's say I close the software. I go to File, Close. Now, if I open again, I go to anybody's chart. This is somebody else's chart. This is Dada Kondke's chart. I come to blank, and it's there. Yeah. Let me try again. Let me close it. Let me open somebody else's chart. Let me open, okay, Anthule's chart. I come back to blank and it's there. Yeah. Maybe it depends on the memory in that person's computer because it saves it in real time. Any change I make, the computer is saving it. Yeah. So if there is not enough memory, maybe it's processing something else and it's not saving the changes made. I don't know. Okay. So, anything over here that is interesting? Yeah. So some of these tables, they need to be long. They need to be wide. Okay. So say, for instance, I want to see the compound relationships, the Panchada. Yeah. Now I have this much space over here. If I double click and I put Panchada over there, it may not. Okay, I'm able to see everything because my screen is large, right? But say, for instance, Bhavabala. Let's say I remove that. I remove this and I say I want Bhavabala graph over here. You see how everything gets congested. Capricorn, Aquarius, one is over the other, right? Because the space is too small. So in such cases, I need to make it longer, wider. So I double click and over here at the bottom, I'll make it 2x1. So it'll occupy 2 cells horizontally and 1 cell vertically. So now it looks better, right? So this is how you customize it. Okay. Are you all able to follow along? Are you all working on the software as we do this? Yeah. Let's go to options and take any of these. Let's take the first one, chart style. Right? This whole user preference dialog box should open up. Can we all do that? Can we say options and choose anyone and this will open up? Yeah. Now over here, everything is self-explanatory. So for instance, planets displayed, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. You tick mark it if you want Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Yeah. All these different points that Parashara has spoken about, it comes over here. Dhuma, Vyatipata, Parivesha. If you use any of that, click on it. Otherwise, I don't use any of that. I have disabled all of that. The default chart style, whether it's North Indian, South Indian, you can choose that over here, right? I've got default as South Indian. You can customize the look and feel over here, whether you want a border, whether you don't want a border. Also the color of the chart, right? So I've removed all the colors. You can edit all of that. Yeah. Go through all these options, but the most important for us at this time is calculation, Ayanamsha. Yeah. So depending on the technique you're using, you need to choose which Ayanamsha you work with. The default is Lahiri, but you may want to choose Raman or Krishnamurti, or you can specify the offset. And if you're using tropical astrology, then don't take an Ayanamsha. Yeah. I'm going to pause there. I'll let you try this out. Change the Ayanamsha and see how that changes your chart. Is everybody with me? Everybody have got this Ayanamsha figured out? Let's say
Yeah, it changes the things.
It changes, right? Now, let's say I choose BV Raman Ayanamsha. I've selected Raman over here and I click OK. Yeah. Then I go have coffee, tea and come back. And I don't know which Ayanamsha I have. Very important that we know. Yeah. Right click, advanced display options always have birth data showing up over here. So then I see that I'm using Raman Ayanamsha. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to calculation options. Now, each of us have our own way of doing some of these calculations, right? So for instance, sunrise, yeah? Each software defines sunrise differently. Yeah? Parashara's light gives you the option to change that definition. Either you calculate sunrise based on center of the sun or on the upper edge of the sun. It changes it by almost 3 minutes. Yeah. So things like this, you can customize it over here. This is very important for Muhurta. The other important thing, even for beginners, is Rahu and Ketu. Are you using true Rahu and Ketu or mean Rahu and Ketu? Yeah, there's a wide debate on this topic, right? I would recommend all of us beginners to start with mean, right? That's the generally accepted norm. So like that, each of this, you can choose the differences, right? Mercury's nature. Is Mercury a malefic or is it a benefic, right? Different astrologers have different ways of interpreting it. So go through all these different options. If you know what you're doing, then change it. Otherwise, stay with the default.
And if this is bit, I mean, we have changed many options. How can we come at the factory setting initial stage?
Factory settings initial stage. I don't know if I can go back only for this. No, you can reset the whole software. So it will remove all your worksheet options, all your customizations, everything it will remove.
So how to reset that?
How to reset that? Where is that?
It
I
means
thought
you
I
have to
saw
again
it
prepare a
somewhere.
new birth chart after deleting the old one.
Yeah, I think you'll have to deactivate the software and reactivate it.
Okay, then that is a very different thing. I mean, we cannot do it from here, right?
No, it's not possible to do it from here.
Okay.
Now over here, is there something else that is important? Yogas. Come again, yeah, please.
What about the regional languages? How we can use the regional languages? Because default this is in English only, no?
Yeah. So regional languages, I think you go to File, and then you have language option. So your language must show up over here. I have only English, but if you have other languages, then choose the language you want. Yeah.
As the software has been purchased for regional languages also, no? Then that will be by default that will change the language there.
Sorry, ma'am, I don't understand. You're saying how to change?
No. Language, actually software, we have purchased the software English plus regional language, no? If you want to work regional language, then how, what to do for that?
Yeah. So you go to File, you click on File, and then you have language over here. So when you click on language, do you see your regional languages over here?
मैम आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, I can.
Okay. While time to purchase, when you select which language, like English plus regional language, Hindi, Odia, Kannada, if you have already selected and purchased the software, you see your software, the pop-off will be there. Like in Vikram sir, only English is there. When you see your software, English plus Hindi plus what regional language you have already selected while time to purchase, that will be showing over there.
Okay, fine, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Actually, Vikram, this is also available. If we right click on a particular chart, the language options start to show for people who have taken regional languages. Like I have taken other languages. So those show up. So, ma'am, अगर आप right click करके किसी chart पे देखेंगे तो वो आ जाएगा. Thank you.
I will see. Thank you.
Okay. There was one question that I got about the transit chart. So let's go there. That comes under calendar. So if you click on charts and then click on calendar, you get the calendar. Now I'll just open this chart and then I'll tell you how to make sense of this.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Did everybody get the calendar? Okay. Now, the one in yellow over here, for me, it's a Mac. It may be a different color for you, is the current date. So 19th is my current date. Now, every day has a time and a transit, right? So for instance, at 4:50 a.m. today, the moon entered Kritika Nakshatra. Yeah. At 10:11, the moon entered Taurus. Kritika starts in Aries. At 10:11, the moon entered Taurus. And this dotted line says where we are now. I mean, that's it. There's no other transit information based on my options. Now I'll change the options. Before I change that, let's understand this a little more. On the 20th, 2:15, moon enters Rohini Nakshatra. At 11:45, the moon squares the ascendant, right? So the first two letters is the transiting planet, and then comes the birth chart. Yeah.
What is your time zone you have selected here? I mean, because I have something different coming here.
It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. We've just taken some chart. Yeah.
No, because this is India chart, right? So 5:30
No, it's not
is the
India
time.
chart. This is Antule's chart, 9th February,
Okay,
1929. It's just an example, right?
No, but it is Maharashtra, India. So time zone is 5:30 only, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But this data is timing is a bit different. So that is why I'm thinking, why is it so? What I can see, the transit timings are a bit different.
Yeah. Let's troubleshoot that a little later. Let's just try to
Okay, no
understand the
problem.
chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now moon squares the 7th cusp. Right? That's the middle point of the 7th house. Moon enters Mrigashira. Now, everything is about the moon over here. Let me change that, right? I right click, I go to calendar options. And I get this dialog box. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Over here, there is something called Edit Transit Preferences. I click on that and I get this very complicated dialog box. Okay, now let's make sense of this. Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu only use. These are the transiting planets in the sky today. So for instance, if you see this 6th April, it's giving me Venus. Now, supposing I remove Venus over here, Venus is gone over here from the 6th. Yeah. Can you try that? Go to calendar options, edit transit preferences. See, most of us, we will not be looking at Venus's transit when we start studying the transit chart. So we can remove the noise. Yeah. What are we looking at? We will look at sun, maybe moon, right? Most of us. Yeah. So just tick mark sun and moon. Sorry, 1 minute. So you tick mark sun and moon and click OK. Click close and you've got the transits of sun and moon. Yeah. Now let's customize this further. Kind of transits that it needs to show you. It's giving us trines and squares. It's very important in tropical astrology. In Vedic astrology, I think we will start first with points, a transit into the nakshatra, transit into the points degree. Yeah, onto the points sign, right? Sign, nakshatra, that is what we start interpreting first. So I just take that Entry and exit, every sign, every nakshatra. I don't want every sub unless you're doing Krishnamurti Paddhati system. You will not choose every sub. Kakshas, if you're doing Ashtaka Varga, select Kakshas. But let's keep it simple for now. Every sign, every nakshatra. This is what is transiting. Yeah. But the birth chart is this, number 3. What are we concerned about? Are we concerned about the cusps? Maybe not. I'm concerned about my moon nakshatra, most important. How does the sun transit over the moon? Or if you want, Saturn. When does Saturn transit over the moon? What we call as Sade Sat. This will give you Sade Sat, Saturn and moon. Saturn transiting the moon, natal moon. If you say Saturn transiting natal Saturn, then it's about Saturn return. Yeah. There's also Sade Sati over here, entry and exit. Yeah. I click OK, I click close. Now I've just got what I've selected. Try it out, see if you can make sense of it. And I'll take questions if there are any. I'm just seeing Anmol's message. Thanks, Anmol. So you're saying options, under options. There you go. Reset all option setting now. So one of you were asking how to reset any changes you have made. So that is there over here. Reset all option settings.
Okay. Calculation
It'll go back to
option,
factory default.
Yeah. What is this book symbol coming up on the this calendar?
Over here, I can use my mouse scroll to go forward in time, right? So it's a quick way to go forward or backward.
Okay.
Any questions? This is slightly advanced.
Can you please repeat?
It's not something that
how to,
as a beginner you will be using. So let it go if it's not something that's interesting for you.
can you please repeat that? How to
I'm going to go back
calendar?
to my blank screen. What I'm using over here. Let me make this blank, make this blank, make this blank, and let's set up certain details here. Dashas, let's put dasha. Let's put a transit chart. And let's put a divisional chart. Navamsha. For transit chart, I add birth data. Oops. Transit chart, I add birth data. Okay. Now, I'd like to show you the research functionality, but I want to make sure that there are no questions so far before we go into research. All right. There's a very interesting capability called research, and it says search for charts. When I click on that, I get this dialog box. This is when you are processing a large number of charts, like hundreds of charts. Yeah. First option here is change directory. I'll stay with the GeoVision chart directory, the default directory. Second, specify the search criteria. What charts am I searching for? I click on that and I get the search criteria dialog box. Can we all come till here, please? Can you click on research, search charts, and then search criteria? Yeah. Now, first option here is select grammar. Look at the number of options it provides. I can specify the conditions. I can have just one condition, or I can have condition 1 and condition 2, condition 1 or condition 2, condition 1, 2, and 3, condition 1, all kinds of combinations and permutations are there. Let's take condition 1. One condition I want to put. So I've selected condition 1. Now I need to mention that condition. If I click on this, I get all the different options. So let us say of all the charts I have of Indian actors, I want to see whose ascendant is Leo, the performer. Yeah. So I go to house. Oh, it says planet or ascendant. Okay, so planet or ascendant. I click on planet or ascendant. So I say Lagna, placed in the sign Leo. Can you try this?
How this Lagna is coming up? The planet, Lord, sign, how it is positive. Could you please show that condition 1 Lagna, because it's asking the planet.
Vikram, can you hear us? Can anyone else hear me?
You're on mute if you're speaking.
I can hear you, Shri, and I can hear you, Vikram.
I think there's a problem at my end. Just 1 minute.
I think we can reset and then start that.
Yeah. Tell me, Shri.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to ensure that you can hear me because there is one question also before. Maybe you missed it. I forgot. One lady who asked, and then one more gentleman. Yeah.
Sorry, something was wrong at my end. Can you please repeat your question?
My question is, how did you bring that Lagna? Please show
Yeah,
that
Lagna.
again.
Okay, let's do that again. Okay, so you came here, right? Over here, I click on specify search criteria. And I'm just doing condition 1, one condition. Okay. Now, in the first drop down, I choose planet or ascendant.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I have to click again. And I get all the planets and Lagna. And then I say placed in the sign. And I want Leo. Yeah. Now the thing is, we can keep adding conditions. Okay, now over here, this is the rule that it's going to search for Lagna placed in the sign Leo. And I say, okay. So that comes over here, Lagna placed in the sign Leo. Now, I need to change the directory because the actors is in a different directory. So let me change the directory. Over here, Indian celebrities, actors. I choose the sub folder where I have the charts of all the actors. Now, the path has changed over here. It's going to search only in that particular path. The search criteria has been mentioned. Now I click on search. Everybody over here with me?
Yeah.
And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 charts have Lagna Leo. Now you can also save this as a group for opening it up later if you want. Like this, you can play around with these conditions. So let's say, for instance, condition 1, let's say, or condition 2. Yeah, I didn't get many hits over here. With Leo Lagna, I didn't get many hits. So let us see. Let me put 3 conditions. Condition 1, 2, or 3. First condition, I'll make ascendant placed in sign Leo. Right? That is what we have done all this while. Maybe moon is also important. So now I'll say planet moon placed in sign Leo. Karaka for the 10th is important. So let me say planet Saturn placed in Leo. Not Venus, Saturn. Yeah. See, all why Ketu over here, not Ketu, Lagna. Yeah. You see, all have come. Lagna placed in Leo, or moon placed in Leo, or Saturn placed in, not Virgo, Leo. Yeah. Yeah. I click OK. Now let's see. I've got more hits. Did everybody get this?
Yes.
Vikram, even though we selected condition 1 or condition 2 or condition 3, if you see the screen, what it actually did was condition 1 and then in brackets condition 2 or condition 3. If you go back to the previous screen and try it, even in your sharing, I think that might well be a bug in the software, just pointing it out.
Okay.
It was showing condition 1 and brackets condition 2 or condition 3.
Okay. So over here, say for instance, Shabna Azmi's chart, Saturn in Lagna, Saturn in Leo, right? Sunil, ascendant Leo, moon in Leo, ascendant in Leo, Saturn in Leo, moon in Leo, Saturn, ascendant, moon. Yeah. Okay. Any questions before I take that other question? I think Shruti, you had asked about astrocartography.
Yeah, Vikram, about this particular one, the research section, you can also save these as a group, right? That was one of the options.
Yeah. So when you save it as a group, if you hit Control M, you get groups over here. This is how you open that group. Yeah.
Right. Okay. One more thing that you were also going to show was yogas, just to see.
Yeah, yogas. Yes, yes. Good point. Let's look at yogas, right? Let's go to my main screen over here. This is Antule's chart, right? I want to know all the yogas applicable in this chart. What you do is, let me just find it. Reports.
I think it's there in tools.
Tools, there is yoga.
Tools, correct. Tools. Yeah. Options, yoga. Yeah. When you click on this thing opens up on the left. Yeah. But very important, look at the bottom. You have a toggle option. You can either show all the yogas across all the scriptures, which is not relevant for us, or only if applicable. Only if that particular yoga is present in this chart. So what this is saying is Gajakesari is there in this chart. Let us check if Gajakesari is there. Jupiter is in Kendra from the moon, right? Let me turn this into North Indian. So moon, Jupiter is in 4 from the moon. Yeah. So you can go through each yoga. It tells you what that yoga is. Saturn occupies the 12th from the sun. It is Voshi yoga. And then it also gives you what that yoga is about. But one point of caution over here, just double check with the scripture if this has been programmed correctly.
Yeah, I wanted to actually know if you've tested this, because I've tried this and it shows like so many yogas, and I think I found a few inaccuracy in the yoga. So I'm not sure, but I wanted to know if you've seen anything.
Yeah, I've not tested this, but you can always Google Voshi yoga, see if it's got the interpretation right. From which scripture is it quoting this, right? It should not quote it from Instagram or YouTube, but from some scripture, right? So just do that basic hygiene check. Yeah. Okay. There's a question here, Anmol, compound relationship. So what you do is, let me do it in a blank screen. So let's say I want the compound relation. Let's say I want all the 3 relationships, right? I've got 3 cells here. I will fill it with the relationships. First, I want permanent relationships. I double click. I come down or go up. Yeah, planetary relations. You have Naisargika, Tatkalika, and Panchada. Yeah. So Naisargika, I get. So over here, how you read it is the sun regards the moon as a friend. Sun regards Mars as a friend, right? This is permanent. I double click, I come down, I click on temporary relationships. This is for this particular chart. If planets are 3 signs, 2 signs behind, 2 signs ahead, right? That is temporary. I double click, I come down, and I click on compound. I have all the 3. Okay. Last question. For astrocartography, tools change location tool. Yeah. What that will do is open up the world map. Yeah. Now, over here, the resolution is 800 by 600. I'm going to maximize the resolution 1800 by 1600. And then I'm going to expand this. This is based on the birth chart. Now, the way Vedic astrology approaches astrocartography is very different from tropical astrology. Yeah. What it's doing over here is telling you what is the rising sign in each zone. Yeah. So if I left click, I get the plus. I don't know if you can see it. It's very small, right? And then I can zoom in. I click on zoom in. I've zoomed in over here into South India, right? Let me zoom out a little bit. So now let's read this. You see there's a red line over here, right? Between Africa and India. There's a red line, and then there's a red line here. That whole region is Leo Lagna. Leo is given over here. Within Leo Lagna, there will be 9 amshas. Yeah, that means in Calcutta at that time of birth, it was Virgo Lagna. Yeah? So in Vedic astrology, this is what we are using. Yeah? What was the rising sign in different regions? Maybe you all want to try this out. Any questions? Okay.
Please ask your question if you have by today's session, because it is very interactive session. Lot of inner and very hidden things we have just discussing through Vikram sir. So please feel free to ask your question if any doubt.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is about the main birth chart. Suppose we are looking at the birth chart. Then suppose if I want to see, if I want to transfer my moon as an ascendant, then how do I shift it, sir?
Right. So this will work only in North Indian chart. So let me make this North Indian chart. Right.
Okay.
Now, what you do is you take your mouse to the moon, MO.
Okay.
You right click.
Okay.
First option, rotate chart to moon.
Rotate. Sir, it's coming as copy without title.
Okay, then search for that option. Maybe you're using Windows, maybe the option order is different. Search for that option, rotate chart to moon.
1 second, sir. Rotate. Will it be under advanced display option?
I doubt. No, it won't be under advanced.
Sir,
Can
the
somebody
option
else try in Windows?
Yeah, you have to click on the moon itself, not outside the
Dasha,
moon.
okay. Got it. Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you
sure. Got
leave
it.
a pop-up
Got it.
window.
Okay. Rotate chart to moon. Okay, done.
And then moon becomes
Okay.
Lagna.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any questions? Or can we close?
Yes, one more question.
Yes,
If I want to see, if I see at my, at the window, I'm working at window. So it is only Navamsha with chart which I can see along with the birth chart, right? If I want to see, let's say Dashash, then how do I add out to my screen?
Do you have empty space in your screen where you can put dashas?
No.
So you need to make space. So for instance, right now I don't have space right over here. I don't have any space. So I right click. I take my mouse to any chart. I right click what I don't want. And I say blank cell. I create some space. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me remove even this and make some more space. Now I have a lot of space over here. I double click and I choose what I want to fill it up with. Right. So over here, I have dashas.
Sir, when I right click, no, so the space
Don't
got
right
blank.
click. Blank,
Sorry.
right? Now double click.
Now double click. Okay. So I get all the options. Okay.
Choose dashas.
Dashas. Okay.
So now
Yeah.
I've got dashas.
Okay. So now it's 2 by 1, 3 by 1. So
You
I can select
choose
from
what
there.
you want. So let's say I make it 1 by 2 because I want it long.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I've got long.
Okay. Dashas. Okay. 2 by It's
Okay.
showing Vimshottari. Okay.
Yeah, Vimshottari. So if you want to change the dasha, you click on Vimshottari, single left click on Vimshottari, and you can choose which dasha you want.
Okay. And if I want to see Navamsha and those houses, I mean, okay, then I can select. Okay, got it, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And if I have to select two from the same, then one
Select
by
two
one I have to
meaning?
do. Suppose Navamsha and Dashamsha.
Supposing you want two divisional charts. Good question.
Two
So I've
divisional
got
chart.
place here. So let me put the Navamsha here first. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Add to
I
chart,
did
birth,
it.
sign, Navamsha. Okay, let me make this North Indian. Now this is the D9. Yeah. Over here, I can make this D10. This is D10 now. I can have multiple divisional charts in the same screen.
Sir, I didn't get it, sir. Can you just please repeat, sir?
Yeah, you got the Navamsha, right?
Okay. Yes, I got it.
Okay, now if you want the Dashamsha also, double click wherever you want the Dashamsha, you double click. Let's say I want to put the Trimshamsha over here, right? I double click.
Okay.
I click on chart, birth, sign, and I search for Trimshamsha.
That is fine, sir. That is okay, sir. But sir, if I want to see Shadbal, Vimshotri, and Navamsha.
Okay, you want
I mean,
Shadbal.
how
you
many,
have to.
what I
You can each cell you can have something different.
Acha. Sir, the number of cells which I have on my screen is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right?
6 cells, right? Yeah.
6 cells. If I
But
want to
more.
increase, I
you
want more.
click on
Yes.
you click on this top right hand corner where it says I've got blank. Maybe it's saying something different for you. Over here you can choose how many you want. See, 6 by 5, 30 cells you can have.
Sir,
Or
where
6
do I
by
have to
4.
click it? One second. I missed it, sir. 1 second. Where do we have to click, sir?
You see this top left right hand corner where it says 14 dot blank.
1 second, sir.
It'll say something different for you, but you'll have the name of the worksheet over there.
Name of the worksheet. Worksheet properties, sir.
Worksheet properties. Very good. So
Worksheet
now
properties.
see, dimension over here, it says 3 by 3. That means I've selected 3 by 3 grid. But now, supposing I want 6 by 5, 30 cells I can have. Everything will shrink, right? And you have space to create more.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Let me stop sharing. All right. So that kind of brings us to a close for this session. Experiment with the software, right? You can always reset, but it's a never-ending process. Think of it as a toy. You've just purchased a new toy and you can do lots with this toy. Yeah, it took us many years to understand the capabilities. I think the best thing you can do now is to have fun, right, with the software. Yeah. Thank you to Rajdeep sir. If you all ever want to learn astrology, you can check out my website. It's allthingsvedic.in, or consultations as well. Yeah. Shall
we have any PDF, I mean, any help sort of document, PDF document,
Yes,
help document?
there is. So over here, if you go, let me share my screen. So if you go to help over here, you have a manual.
Okay.
It's quite extensive, actually.
Okay. Sir, what
So
is
we'll
use
be.
balloon help?
Sorry, come again.
Use balloon help. I mean, what is that? The second option, use balloon help.
I'm not sure, actually.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, okay.
Thank you so much, Vikram sir. Or
Thank you, sir.
some more drop down also be explored by yourself also, and we also as a good as a astrology student we are, so not even prediction. You can also, as like sir already said, it is toy. You can always be fun from this software, and lot of new things will be come out from there. So thank you so much. We have completed our 2 session. The video recording will be available very soon with combined on Sambhav Jyotish channel and All Things Vedic. You can see or learn more from there. Anything as we are available for our groups, Vikram sir and myself also. We are open for any question for astrology and relevant topic. So thank you so much for all that joined with us. Not least, but at least we are open for all. Thank you so much, Vikram sir, for your valuable time slot. And I thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
sir.
for all people that joining with us. Namaskar.